Okay, so they tell us that a restaurant owner is experimenting with different prices to see how many lunch specials that he can sell. Um, then they ask, based on the line of best fit, which predictions are true? So this is a key word that we're dealing with a data set, and that this is not going to be a perfect function. It might resemble a function, it might fit with the equation of some function, but it's not going to be a perfect line of data or a perfect quadratic of data. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to type in the whole table to get a visual of the data set into the calculator. So let's go ahead and start there. 50, 950, let's use tab, 107, 78. Okay, so we got our data set in here, and now we're going to click this magnifying glass to get a good view of that data. And in fact, I'm going to just go ahead and make this a little bigger so we can see it more easily. I'm going to zoom out a bit just so we can get our axes in view, and I'm going to click this button. Looking at this data set pretty clearly resembles a line, so whenever I do my regression, I'm going to keep it on linear, not switch to quadratic or exponential. And now we have this line, which based on the data, we know a couple different possibilities for how many people are going to buy depending on what the price is. But this line helps make predictions that will show us possibilities of how many people would come based on this data, depending on the price. And they want us to look at those predictions and the answer choices and see which ones seem to match this data set. So first one says if there are 82 lunch specials purchased, the price would be $5 or vice versa. I guess this is the independent variable. So if the price X is $5, how many people could we expect there to be? Well, if the X, the price is $5, we'd expect about 120 people according to this data. That is not matching the 82, so I'm not going to pick that one. Next one, if the price were $6, it says about 111 people. So that clearly works. And we can also do these in reverse. If I know that I'm looking for 102 people, that's my Y value, I can click and see what the price ought to be. So for 102 people, $7 would need to be the price. Or for 74 people, $10 would need to be the price. Both of those weren't quite right. This one was pretty close, and I might come back and pick it. But let's just check this last one. If 28 people bought it, what price would they have to charge? And, oops, nope. If 28 people bought it, so it's the Y, they would need to charge about $15. So that is a better answer than C. C was not terrible. It was only 50 cents away, but not quite what we're looking for.